The MTC. First day was long. It was like the longest day of my entire life. You get to meet your companions, you get to meet your district, and they're all great. However, the first time you go and you sit in that class and your teacher comes in and he just starts, he just like was speaking in Japanese, and I was like, what the heck? And whenever he'd ask us a question, since I'd studied French for so long, only French could come out. My brain only had English and foreign language. It didn't have English, French, and Japanese. It was just English and foreign language. So when he would like ask a question, I would want to be like, oh, oui. And I was like, or if I didn't understand it, I'd be like, comment? And so it was really hard. And I knew absolutely nothing about the language. I had to write down, I look back at my notebook from the MTC and it said "hai," which means yes. And I had to write down what that meant because I maybe knew konnichiwa. And so that first day, week, it hits you like a ton of bricks and you are exhausted. Like all this information you're jam packing into you, and it's like no other language you've really ever learned before. And the grammar's backwards. So the verbs come at the end. Anyway, it's backwards. The verb's at the end. So, and then the direct object is in the middle. So it's like subject, direct object, right? Subject, object, verb. And so it's a little bit backwards, and they have these weird particles that are a little bit of a pain, but you get used to them. But they do have 4 writing systems there. And so the first one is kanji. That's like the Japanese characters. Don't focus on those. You can maybe focus on them the last 6 months of your mission once you've got the language down, but don't focus on them. You don't need them. Hiragana is the Japanese language. It's kind of like an alphabet more. And then the other one is katakana, and it's how the Japanese write a word if it's like an American word that the Japanese have adopted, like raningu, which is running. They have a way to write that in their own language. And so those are 2, they kind of look like alphabets. They're in characters. But if I had any suggestion about studying, if you want to study before the mission, would to memorize those 2 alphabets. The best thing about Japanese is it's very, when it's written out, it's phonetic, and so it's very easy to pronounce once you get the hang of it. And the 4th language writing is Romaji, which is written in like our alphabet. You don't see it very much. No, you do. But it's a way that you can pronounce it. And that's what your PMG will be written in. And so the best way to kind of study that is to, once you learn how to pronounce all the letters and everything like that and all the sounds, to read side by side your English PMG and your Japanese PMG in Romaji, and that will be the best way. That's very helpful in learning the language, I found. The Book of Mormon isn't as helpful because it uses very, very old language. So, Preach My Gospel is the best when learning the language if you want to go back and forth.